Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for my review of the new 2017 film, Blade Runner 2049, directed by Denis Villeneuve and starring Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, Jared Leto, Robin Wright, and many other talented actors and actresses. Too many for me to name, but they all do a very good job in this film. Before I get more into this film, I'd like to just give a little background on my Blade Runner experience. I don't think I've ever mentioned this on my channel, but the original Blade Runner from 1982, also starring Harrison Ford, is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen the movie numerous times, so when I heard there was finally going to be a new Blade Runner movie after all these years, I was kind of excited, but also kind of cautiously optimistic, as they say, because sometimes when you have an older film that holds a special place for you as a movie viewer, you're not really sure what to expect, and sometimes you can set your expectations too high. Then I saw what the length of this film was going to be, that it was going to be like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. I was even more skeptical, as I often have a problem with films that are long just to be long. Now, I don't mind long films. There are some long films that work for me if there's enough plot, enough character development, just a reason for them to be that long. And I have to say that this movie mostly pulls off its length, but not totally, and I'll get more into that. First, let me talk about some of the good things about this movie. I did think Blade Runner 2049 was an excellent film overall, and it actually surpassed my expectations, which is always a good thing. One thing I really appreciate here is that they pretty much kept the mood of the original film intact. This is a very dark, atmospheric film, which it should be, and I thought that the director and also cinematographer Roger Deakins, who seems to outdo himself on every film, do a great job of capturing the mood of the film. The film is very deliberate, but so was the original film, to be fair. That's one of the things I like about it. And that mostly works. The film is always interesting. It is a little bit slow in places, but it never bored me. The plot keeps itself moving pretty well. A lot of that is due to Ryan Gosling's excellent acting. All the cast is good, but I thought he was really a great choice for the main role in this film. The film is also visually stunning, and I know nowadays that can be kind of an overused term, but I really thought this film stood out as unique. It kept the spirit of the original film, but still had kind of a unique look in places, which I really appreciated. Another thing I really like about this film is that it was very thought-provoking, and I think this is definitely a film I want to rewatch a couple times. I just have to be in the right mood for it and also have enough time. But it's the kind of film that makes you think about a lot of things, and there's a lot of little details that, to be fair, you could probably miss the first time, which I think will enhance the film even more, kind of like the original as well. Um, so overall, I thought this was an excellent experience. However, there are a few things, unfortunately, that put this film a little bit behind the original and keep it in the very good level, but make it not reach the great level, in my opinion. I said that the length mostly works. There are a lot of long scenes, but most of them do have a payoff. Unfortunately, I do feel like certain plot points kind of repeat themselves as the film goes on. It's like we learn something as an audience member and then it keeps getting explained again and again. It's almost like they didn't trust the audience to totally get it. There's also a few kind of plot twists in this film that, while they kind of fit the story, they felt a little shoehorned into the movie to keep it progressing. And the plot twist kind of felt abrupt as well for a film that slowly builds up. I thought that the abrupt twist kind of sometimes were a little bit jarring and didn't totally work. My bigger problem with this film, however, is that a few of the side characters aren't developed that well. The main characters have excellent character development, but there are some characters in this film, especially Jared Leto's character in particular, that I thought needed more screen time. They were interesting characters, but they just weren't developed as well as they could have been. And certain characters in this film also have no resolution when I felt like they really could have used a resolution. And because of this, they came across more as plot points than they did really characters that felt essential to the film. I thought the film could have done better there. But overall, I really respect this movie. I respect that in a modern age of films, they resisted the temptation to make this an all-out action movie. There are a few action scenes here and there, and they're handled while they're appropriate, but this is definitely not an action film overall. It's more of a thought-provoking science fiction film, and I really appreciate that. And credit to the director, the writers, the editors, everyone for keeping the spirit and the mood of Blade Runner while still making the film very unique. So overall, I'm going to give Blade Runner 2049 a 4 out of 5. I would say fans of the original should definitely watch this film. I think you'll appreciate it. I will say, though, that Blade Runner, the original, is not a film for everyone. And if you're not thrilled with the first movie, you may have some issues with this one as well. I could see some people finding this movie not as interesting as I did. But overall, I do think Blade Runner 2049 is a success. And I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And as always, thank you very much for watching.